English skills. So yes, MD Arshid, I already pasted the link. So if you want to join the class, you can click on the link, or the link is posted in the communities also. So you can click over there too. So as many of you already know that I am starting my live streaming English speaking free classes from Monday, June 14th. And that class will be live streaming, where you will be practicing your English skills, your speaking skills with me. So let's see, okay, choose students, Sandeep and Syed. Welcome Sandeep and welcome Syed Imran. So again, I am telling you about my Monday session. Hey Sandeep, Shivam, good to see you after many days. So, how are you? Good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good. So I'm going to still wait for a few minutes, and I'm going to keep live stream. So how are you today?
I'm fine, ma'am.
So were you watching my previous lessons on Saturday? Because if you remember, we started one story and
Yes, ma'am. Many times ago, I'm watching your video, and I think 2 and 3 times I connect you and I'm talking. I'm talked with you.
yeah, yes, you
Yes,
were. Yes, I remember that. Yes. Okay, so the reason I'm asking you is because if you were watching that video and then you're familiar with the story, because we will be continuing, but at the same time, I will
Yes,
have some other activities to practice. So let's see.
But ma'am, that time I'm very hesitated for speaking English, so I leave this channel, but now I realize and that I'm return back to this is a fear, and I afraid when I afraid this fear तब तक English नहीं आएगी. So yes ma'am. So I again in this channel and I want to talk with you, and I hesitate, remove my hesitation, and I want to fluent speaker, ma'am. I want to be a fluent speaker.
I always say, we are not judging. I am not judging you. It's just a good practice, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because the more you will practice, the more you will remove your hesitation. And
yes, ma'am.
Because I know in India, many students are academically, they are strong. That means their English skills are strong. They can read well. They can understand pretty well, right?
Yes, yes ma'am. I know, understand grammar.
Many of them even are able to.
Yes, ma'am. I know, understand grammar, and I know writing, listening, but I can't speak, ma'am. So
no, you are speaking pretty well. No, you are fine. I mean, yes, that comes with practice, right? Okay. So the more you practice, the more you will be fluent.
Yes.
So nothing to fear about. Okay. And I always say English speaking is not measuring your intelligence. Yes. Because that's not your language. Yes, I know. Right? You are learning English as a second language. Yes, ma'am. So many people, there are many countries where they just have one language. They don't have any other second language. And especially think about Japan. I mean, they are more concentrated on their first language, and if you look at that way in technology and in many areas, they are number one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am. But
so
they speak own language.
yes, so it's like, I think that's the biggest fear and hesitation and inferiority complex, I will say, that we have in India, because English is more popular due to, as you know, the British ruled in India for so many years, and it was kind of like a dominating, right? So that could be another reason that it's like more like a title. If you speak English, they consider you are very smart or intelligent, but that's not reality. Right? That's not true at all. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So now I have graduated, ma'am. So after graduated, I went to searching jobs. So English, I realized that English is very important. I want to join call center, English call center, but I have an interview and I'm rejected. Then I realized that English is important for me, ma'am.
Right. Yes, especially for call centers, because their interaction is more with the foreigners, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so let's start with some general questions, and then when we're gonna have some more students by the time, then we can start our lesson. How is everyone? Good? Good, Sandeep?
Yes, ma'am.
And so there are two Sandeeps actually today. Sandeep.
I'm Sandeep Silvari.
Yes. And Muhammad Ayan. Muhammad, are you student in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What grade you are in? Classmate. So.
What, ma'am?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh my God.
You need to mute yourself. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, what grade you are in?
Ma'am, in 6th.
6th grade. Okay. Okay. So, are you like with the CBSE or any other board, state board?
Ma'am,
Okay. Okay. So, let's talk about friendship today. I am sure you all have friends, right? You all have friends, right? So, can you describe one of your closest friend? You don't need to name it. Okay.
First, I describe my friend. So I have a best friend. His name Nikhil, because he is very help from me, and he is always with me. And then I realized I'm here. Then I realized I'm sad. So he always pushed me, and he always support me anytime and anywhere. So so I know that a friend is very important in your life. And yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So he's always there whenever you need him, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in your good times and in your bad times, right?
Yes,
That's what
ma'am.
friendship is, exactly. So who's the next one? Sandeep Chauhan.
Yes, ma'am. May I?
How many best friends do you have?
Ma'am, I just have only one friend. He is my best friend.
Okay.
And he always helps me, but sometimes he also has the secrets that he doesn't like to tell me. But whenever I need his help, he tries to help me. But I can't say surely that he is my best friend. For me, he is my best friend. But for him, I can't say that I am best friend for him.
Oh, okay. Right. Like you think he is your best friend, but he might have more friends than you, right? The closest. But whenever you needed him, he is there for you, right? Is that true? Okay. Or you are there for him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you are more close to him, and you think
Yes,
that he
ma'am.
has. Okay, okay. So just one friend?
Yes, ma'am. Just one. I have two other friend, two more, but one of them is not already out. Never comes out of his house. He always like to
Oh,
be accommodated and stayed always at house because he is
okay.
very so
And
too much scared of COVID.
oh, I think many
Really,
people
ma'am.
are like that.
Ma'am. Really, he is really very scared of COVID and he doesn't even like to come out of his house.
Yeah, but this is a temporary phase, but he's still your friend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Or your
So,
friend
and
now
oh,
it's he was used to be out more with you and not anymore. That's what you're
no,
saying?
ma'am. I have been with him for a long time, but he is like introverted.
Oh, more introverted. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Are different messages. Okay. Hmm.
And if I talk about my one another friend, ma'am, he is
Mhm.
really very flatter. Like
He's what?
he talk nonsensely.
Oh,
Some of the time I get angry over him, and he always tries to frustrate me.
okay. So you always try to shut him. Don't say
Yes,
it.
ma'am. And I feel that I must beat him.
Oh
We
my
all yes, ma'am.
God.
We all friend feel that we should beat him because he speaks too much and very nonsensely.
Okay, and he's listening you right now.
No, ma'am, he is not here.
Not okay. You might gonna watch a video later on.
Yes, it may be, ma'am, but I'm not give his name. I'm not giving his name here.
Okay. Or you're not scared from him.
No, ma'am, I'm not scared.
Okay.
Ma'am, even is in front of our teachers, he speaks very fluent, very too much, and he is always like, matlab,
Outspoken, right? You know, some
yes,
people
ma'am.
are like that. It's not like he maybe like we are have different characters, different
Yes,
characters,
ma'am.
or different. So he might
But
be more
ma'am,
outspoken and
he is strange.
it's okay.
Yes, ma'am. He's really very, very, very different, ma'am, from us. Really very
Is he
different.
funny? Is he funny? You know what? Some people have that kind of a attitude. Some people sometimes act funny just to get the attraction from others. Like so, the
Yes,
more
ma'am.
people can give them attention. That's called their attention seekers. And
Attention
some attention
seekers.
seekers, they behave like that. They do the funny things. They act funny, so other people can laugh and they enjoy it. It's kind
Yes,
of like
ma'am.
I think he's like that. Okay, you still like him, right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
like?
Even then, I like him, and I have been studying with him for 2 years.
Oh, okay, 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 good. Okay, so good to see Harun Ali, and I can see Ankit Kumar and Amit Jha. Good to see you, and Ashu Khatri. So who is the next one who wants to describe one of your best friend? If you have best friend, if you have more than one, who wants to talk about Muhammad Ayan? You are in 6th grade. Do you have any friend? Many friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have many friends or one friend? Muhammad, you have friends?
But ma'am,
Do you have friends?
yes, ma'am. I have one friend, my best friend.
Okay.
His name was Arab Sethi.
Okay.
He, ma'am, last year he is in my class only.
Okay.
He-
So this year he is
My
not
cla-
in class. This
Yeah.
year he
Ma'am, but it is not, ma'am, but it is in my
Not-
6th class also. But I'm not able to meet him. because COVID-19 is.
Right, because your classes are online, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Your classes are not in person. In person means you don't go to school. You don't go to school and meet your friends and your teachers or sit in the classroom. That's an in-person classroom. But when you are online, it's your virtual classroom, right? It's now you are learning virtually, right? Right, Mohammed? Okay. So do you miss him?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you miss him? So he lives away from your home, not close to your home?
No, ma'am.
Okay. But do you guys talk to each other over the phone or text?
Ma'am, but I have not his number also.
You don't have his, okay. So you, I don't have his number. Okay. Okay, that's fine. But you will meet him next year, hopefully after summer break.
Yes, ma'am.
So now you have summer break. Your summer vacation is already.
Yes, ma'am. It is. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. It is going on the summer vacation.
Okay, so okay, good. So for how long? When you going back to school?
Ma'am, ma'am, next month 26.
July 26th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay, good. That's nice. Okay, so yes, Harun Ali ji, the next one. Good to see you, Harun Ali. So tell me a little bit about yourself because you are here very first time and we are not judging your English, so do not be scared at all, okay? Speak freely. Yes, Harun ji. So are you in a profession? You work somewhere? आप unmute कीजिए अपने आप को. You are muted.
Actually, I told you earlier that my name is Harun Ali and belong to Uttarakhand, living in Faridabad right now.
Oh, okay.
Since 20 years.
Oh, okay. So you
And
were,
sorry?
you were in this class before?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Maybe many weeks.
Muhammad Ayan is also my son.
Who?
Muhammad Ayan.
Oh, he's your son?
Yes, ma'am.
That's interesting. Father and son. Okay, that's good. I mean, it's wonderful. So you can even practice with each other.
Yeah, I watched many movie, madam.
Okay.
And I following you since last year.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as I saw your, I checked mail on YouTube. So I told my son that you join this class.
Oh, okay. Hi, Surjit Mishra. You can join the class if you want to. Good to see you. I know there are many students. They were used to be.
So, ma'am, I run taxi. I run taxi in Delhi.
Oh, okay, okay. So tell me, do you have any best friend? Your son already told me his best friend.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
about you?
I have many friends, madam, but not matlab high educated. Kind driver.
No, but no. We are not talking about educated or uneducated. We are talking about friends and friends. You know, अब अगर सोचो तो कृष्ण भगवान के बारे में तो सुदामा was their friend, right?
जी जी.
तो उसका आपस में कितना gap था, right?
So
बात नहीं हम कर रहे. We are not talking about that. I'm just asking in your life if you have any special person and you are not related with not a blood relation or relative, but he's just your friend.
Okay. So I have many best friends, madam, and I discuss with them many topics about my profession and domestic things. I share with them.
Right. Okay.
And
yes,
somewhere I asked something.
So you like, you know, you are there for each other when you need it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, good. Hey, Ankit Kumar. Ankit Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
How are
Yes,
you?
ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So tell me a little bit about yourself, and then if you have any friends.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm passing. Tell me again.
So tell me about yourself a little bit, because you are in this class the very first time, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's my first time in this class.
So are you student?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a student studying for 12th.
Oh, okay. So which board?
Bihar board, ma'am.
Okay. So I know the Rajasthan board, some of the curriculum, and from the central board, CBSE.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, good. So do you have any best friend, or you have many best friends, or just one best friend?
I have many best friend, ma'am, but one is my best friend. His name is Anis Rai, and he is always motivated me. Yes, Ankit, you do everywhere. Yeah. Ma'am, I want to become an IS officer, and he pushes me always. Yes, Ankit, you can do this. Yes, only for you can do this. Always, my best friend is say.
Right. Oh, that's nice. I mean, he's encouraging you and motivating you.
Yes, ma'am, always.
You are in the same class? 12th
But
grade?
ma'am,
He's also in 12th grade?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. So you have many friends, but one of them is your best friend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you like him the most because he is encouraging you.
Yes, ma'am, always. Anywhere, anytime.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so is the Amit Jha.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good evening, ma'am.
I was checking your chat messages. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, yeah, it's my first class, ma'am. First of all, I good evening to all of you, and especially for you.
Okay. So tell us, so you are a student?
Yes, ma'am. I'm MBA and MBA last year students.
Oh, okay. That's nice. So, which university?
Could I introduce to myself to you?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Amit Jha. I belong to basically Bihar, but currently I am living in New Delhi since last 3 years.
Wow.
And I have completed my graduations in BSc Maths from Bihar University, and now I'm pursuing MBA at Lord Business School, Greater Noida, in my specialization marketing and operations. And my strengths are I am adaptive persons, I am creative, I'm thinking positive towards my goal and my career, and that's all. I'm talking about now. Talking about my family's backgrounds. There are 4 members in my families. My parents, including me, my fathers and my mother and my younger brother. My father is a supervisor in ASF ASF Insignia Private Limited Company, Gurgaon. And my hobbies are listening to music, traveling to new places, and interact to new people and convince them. And that's all about me, ma'am.
Okay. Good that you are very enthusiastic and very positive thinker. I like that. That's nice. Excellent. And I mean, we have to be positive. That's what I believe in law of attraction. Positivity attracts positivity, right? So we have to be positive in our life. In
Ma'am,
all kinds of
Ma'am,
circumstances.
I am waiting I am waiting of your classes a very long time.
Oh, so you are my old subscriber
Yes, yes, ma'am. I'm subscriber. Yes, ma'am.
last year?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
But,
okay. But I never
uh,
saw you in this class before. This is the first time I think you joined my class.
Yes, ma'am. It's my first class in virtual classes. It's my first class.
Yeah, I think I saw your tech comment sometime, maybe. Amit Jha, this name sounds.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm regular students of yours.
Okay. I think
I'm
you were the last time you commented. You have many questions. Who
Yes,
has-
ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
I am. Yes, I am. I am.
I have a good memory. Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so okay, nice meeting with you, Amit. And
Ma'am, I am asking to you a little bit doubt.
that we'll talk at the end of the class. I will give you a chance. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Nice to.
Okay. So the next one, Syed Imran is the same one, right? Who didn't get a chance to speak? Priyanka, do you have any best friend?
Yes, ma'am. I have two best friends. One of my classmate and one of my institute friend. Like we were met gems and jewelry classes.
Okay.
Since then we are best friend, and I am connect with that through the mobile.
Okay, you talk to them. You okay? Good. Do you
Yes.
talk to your friends every day, all day?
Yes, ma'am. I'm chatting with that and saying you are alive or not. What are you doing, Pagal? That's type of chatting we are.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So so they live away from your home, not close to your home.
No, ma'am, not close so far.
Okay. So you don't have any friend in your neighborhood? Neighborhood means
No, ma'am.
आसपास के लोगों में? Okay.
No, ma'am.
Distance friend. Okay. Good. So how they are different, both of them? Are they little different or are they pretty much same like you?
Same, ma'am.
Same. Okay. Good. So Ayaz or Ayaz? Ayaz, are you there? Hello, Ayaz or Ashu Khatri? Did you get a chance to speak? Ashu Khatri or Syed Imran? It's okay, guys. You can try. Please don't be scared. I keep reminding you that no one is judging your English here. We are not judging you. You are just practicing. Murmu Thakur, you need to click on the link, just the link, or you can go to the community and the link is there. Okay, so go ahead, click on Murmu. You can click on the link in this chat, or you can go to the community and you can join the class. It's easy. Okay. Okay, so network issue. Okay, Ashu, whenever your network will get fixed, I will give you a chance to speak. Okay, so, okay. I think we can start our lesson now. So Syed Imran raised hand. Yes, Syed.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ma'am. Actually, I am on duty. That's why I didn't reply to you, ma'am. So now I finished my work and I came again to class.
Oh, okay. So,
thank you for giving this opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Syed Imran and I am 40 years old. I am working in Doha, Qatar. Coming to my family background, I have 4 members in my family: me, my wife, my son, and my mother. And I am interested in these English classes. I want to learn, and I am very happy to see all of speaking like, and it is very good session. I like it, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Sayed, you were here, I think, like 2 weeks ago in this class. Am I
Yes,
right?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I remember.
Last week I missed the class because I am on duty, so I am unable to attend the class last week.
Yes, I remember you last time. Yes, Amit Jha, you also raised your hands.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, may I?
Yes, sure. Go ahead, please. Yes. Start.
Ma'am, I have a doubt regarding how to build my confidence level.
Okay, I told you I will try to answer your questions if I know the answers at the end of the class, but can we start the lesson today? Okay, and mute yourself, please. Amit, I will give you the last like 10 or 15 minutes and we will talk about it, okay? So, now I am going to share, who remember the story we were reading last time? Anyone remember the story we were reading last time?
Ma'am, last
Yes.
Saturday we were learning a story about an old lady who likes to sit near the window, and he saw American history, all the immigrants to have already come in America and are coming and going from there. And
Right. This is actually the story about a little girl who started planting what? Lima beans, right?
lima beans.
Oh, so when you see this picture, what kind of emotions you have in your mind when you see this kind of picture? How you
It's a
feel?
it's a road accident.
Oh, how you feel? How you feel when you see this kind of picture? How you feel? Come on. Do you feel happy?
No,
No.
ma'am, we feel sad.
Sad, disappointed, right? Yes. Or, think about someone who was here and in a relation with someone, how that person's gonna feel, right? So our
Yes, ma'am.
next character is Wendell. So today we're gonna talk about Wendell. And as you know, this story actually has many characters. So Wendell is, I think, our, what do you think? Third character or fourth character now? It's
Third
the third
character.
right?
Third character,
Yes.
ma'am.
The first was Kelly, the second was Fiona, and now it's Wendell. Okay, who wants to start reading?
Yes, ma'am. May I?
Okay, yes, go ahead, please.
My phone doesn't ring much, which suits me fine. That's how I got the news about our boy, shot dead like a dog in the street. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. May I continue, ma'am?
Sure, yes, go ahead. I will let you know when I want you to stop, okay?
Okay, ma'am. And the word last year about my wife's car wreck. I can't hear a phone and not jerk inside. When Fano called, was still asleep. Phone calls that wake me up are the worst. Get up here quick. She says, I live on the ground floor and watch out for her a little. We were the only white people left in the building. I ran up the stairs. I could tell it was serious. I prayed I wouldn't find her dead. When I got there. She looked perfectly fine. She dragged me over to the windows.
Okay, so that's it. Okay, so my phone doesn't ring much, which suits me fine. So what is this character, Wendell? He's scared from phone calls. You see that? He said, that's how I got the news about our boy shot dead like a dog in, and the word last year about my wife's car wreck. I can't hear a phone and not jerk inside. Jerk inside means when the phone rings, he feels what? He gets scared that there might be something bad news on the phone, right? So when Fiona called, I was still asleep. Phone calls that wake me up for the worst. Get up here quick, she says. I live on the ground floor and watch her for her a little. We are the only white people left in the building. I ran up the stairs. I could tell it was serious. I prayed I wouldn't find her dead. When I got there, she looked perfectly fine. She dragged me over to the window. So this old white guy lives in the same building, right?
Building.
Where Fiona lives. So Fiona, if you remember, she lives on the top floor,
Yes,
higher.
ma'am.
And what she does most of the time,
She likes to sit near the window.
right? She just like to sit next to the window and look outside what's going on the street, right? So she called him. And this guy, she said, I just freaked out when she called me because I'm not comfortable with when people call me, right? So, so let's see, who is he? Ashu Khatri, why he's not comfortable when people call him? Why this guy, Wendell actually his name, he's not comfortable when people call him? Why?
I'm comfortable, ma'am. So I have to read it.
No, I'm asking you a question.
No,
Why?
I'm comfortable, ma'am. Because there's some network issue. That's why I'm unable to tell about the things what you are talking about.
Okay. So Ankit, why this guy Wendell is not comfortable when people call him?
What, ma'am? Say again.
Why this guy in this story is not comfortable when people call him? He said, I speak out. I don't like it. He said, I feel like a jerk inside when someone calls me. Why? Why he feels that way?
Ma'am, I'm not understand what you say.
Is there anyone who?
May I tell?
Yes.
Ma'am, he doesn't like his calling because in this way his son was shot in the street. It was the way he was shot, and the last year his wife was something like accident.
So his experience with telephone is what? Good or bad?
Bad
news.
Right? So whenever he thinks whenever the telephone bell rings, I feel like something bad is happened and someone is, calling me and giving me the information, something wrong, right? Because he got a phone call when his son died, right? He shot dead. And then he got a phone call when his wife had a car wreck. So that's why this guy, he's kind of like phobiac with phone, that he doesn't like if someone calls him. So when Fiona called, he was like, I just freaked out. Like, why she's calling me? I thought she might be dying or something. I would kind of find her dead, right? So this guy is scared from the phone. So do you understand what I was asking you?
Yes, ma'am.
Other students. Okay. So when I asked you question, I pretty much asked you the question about the reading. Okay. And I want you to tell me the answers in your words, because you can see the things written on the screen and you can just tell me the answer in your words, right? Okay. I got the news about a boy shot dead like a dog in the street. What kind of figurative language is used here? If you remember, we already talked about the figurative language like a simile or metaphor. So the comparison of his dead son, he's comparing him like what?
Dead like a dog.
Yes, yes, someone just killed him like that.
See,
Okay,
right.
so who is my next reader?
May I, ma'am?
Yes. If you didn't get a chance, then yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Look down there. She says they are dying. What tilted back the plants? She says I was mad. She gave me some binoculars and told me all about the Chinese girl. I found the plants and got them in focus. There were of them in a row, still little. They are wilted leaves. Leaves flops flat on the ground. What are they? She asked. Some kind of beans. I grew up on Lytton Farm in uh, Kentucky, but she planted was too early. She's lucky those seeds even came up.
Right. So look down there, she says, they are dying. What? I yelled back. The plants, she says. I was mad. He gave me some binoculars and told me all about the Chinese girl. I found the plants and got them in focus. So they were looking from where? From the window, right?
From the window.
कुर्सी हैगी
Binoculars.
कुर्सी हाँ नहीं है खाला की
Me, आपको mute करना है, Amit. Okay, so I was mad. She gave me some binoculars and told me all about the Chinese girl. I found the plants and got them in focus. That means I focused on the plants. There were 4 of them in a row, still little. They were wilted. This one, I'm going to show you the picture of wilted. Like when you don't give a water to the plants, you see them like this. It's wilt. Yes, struggle from lack of water. The plants can be wilted. To become limp or to grow weak or faint. Wilted. Okay. So they were wilted. Leaves flopped flat on the ground. What are they? She asked. Some kind of beans. I grew up in a little farm in Kentucky. Kentucky is one state in America. So this guy, he said, I grew up on a farm. He was a country boy. He was from like a rural area. So he knew a lot about plants and gardening, stuff like that. But she planted them was too early. So this word is actually a contraction, but this word is them. Okay, she planted them was too early. But when you speak it quickly. So that's why she planted them too early. She was lucky. She was lucky those seeds even came up. Right? So that's what he's saying, that this girl actually planted these seeds early. But she's lucky that they came out. You remember when she planted, Priyanka? What kind of weather was outside when she planted the lima beans? Because you are here from the beginning of this class. What kind of weather was outside when she planted these? Was it like a snow or spring?
Spring, ma'am.
It was snow. You remember that? The ground was so hard.
Snowy, yes, ma'am. Snowy.
Okay, yes. Okay, so who wants to read the next one?
Ma'am, can I?
Yes.
But he
But-
did said Fizon, and it's up to us to save them. It was a weekend in May and hot. Oh, who would have thought that those beans were hairs? They
Those.
needed water ex-
They needed.
That's okay. They needed water. Okay.
they needed water excessively,
Especially in that heat.
especially in that heat. She said the girl had not come in 4 days, sick,
Sick.
probably
Probably.
on gone out of town.
Fiona.
Fiona had twisted
Twisted.
her
Twisted.
Ankle and
and
couldn't
could
manage.
not manage the stairs.
Let him try to read, please. Okay. Let him try to read. Okay. thank
She
you.
pointed
Yes.
to a kitchen, where that up and shook them good. Quickly now.
Quick now only.
But they did, said Fiona. So this name is Fiona, and it's up to us to save them. So what this guy was telling, that luckily these seeds came out, but he planted it what? Off season, right? So, and it's up to us to save them. It was a
Ma'am,
weekend.
your voice is not clear.
My voice is not clear.
Yes, ma'am. Someone is unmute.
Please, ma'am, try to do your best.
Guys, please mute yourself if you, who was the last reader? So everyone should be muted because there is a lot of background noise. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So keep it muted. Okay. But they did, said Fiona, and it's up to us to save them. It was a weekend in May and hot. You would have thought that those beans were hers. They needed water, especially, this word is especially in that heat. She said the girl hadn't, not had not, because it's a contraction. I know this word is had not, but when we speak, we use contractions, so it's hadn't. Everyone say hadn't.
Yes, hadn't.
Yes. So
Hadn't.
yes. So she said the girl hadn't come in 4 days sick. Probably. So this word is probably, or gone out of town, right? So probably means there are chances that she had gone out of town. Fiona had twisted her ankle and couldn't manage the stairs. She pointed to a picture. So what's Fiona's problem? She's twisted her ankle. What is that in Hindi? Twisted her ankle.
What do you mean,
I have one
pincher?
Yeah, moch aa jana jaise pair ko, hai na? Moch.
Ma'am,
Twisted her.
what do you mean a pincher? Picture.
Picture is like jug नहीं होता जैसे jug को picture कहते हैं.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Actually, in American English, it's picture. I know in British English you say jug, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
No,
but in,
ma'am. Here we say it's picture.
Okay, you say picture too? Okay, yeah. So she pointed to a picture. She pointed it, it's like there because she's not able to do what? She's not able to
Pick up the picture.
walk. Why? Why she's not able to walk?
Because
he twisted her ankle.
now she has twisted ankle.
Because she twisted her ankle and she couldn't manage the stairs. She couldn't walk well. So fill that up and soak them good. Quick now. Fill that up. What? Fill that up means what? What fill? What she needs? What she's telling him to fill?
To fill up the water.
Yes, fill up the water and soak them good. To who?
2 plants.
Yes, the lima beans, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, so far, whatever we learned about Wendell and Fiona, who wants to tell it briefly, like not Sandeep, anyone else wants to talk about it briefly? Whatever we learned so far, it's okay. I'm not judging you. We are just, okay, yes. Yes. Anyone wants to talk about it? Wendell, this guy is Wendell, and he's also old, right? Like Fiona. Fiona is old woman, and they live on the same building. Wendell lives in the ground floor and Fiona lives on the top. So Fiona called him, right? And she asked him if he can come upstairs. Upstairs means, and this guy freaked out because he's not comfortable with what? To getting phone calls. So he thought something bad happened to Fiona, right? So he came upstairs. When he came upstairs, what she was telling him, she gave him what? Binoculars. And what she wanted him to do? She wanted him to look outside in where?
In the lot.
In the lot where that girl, little girl Carrie, already planted
Yes,
lima
ma'am.
beans, right? Okay. So the reason I am going back and reviewing it, so you should know the story and you can make the connections, right, with the story. Because if you don't know what happened in the beginning, you will not be able to make the connections about all these characters. And this story is actually very, it teaches us a very good lesson. Okay, there is a purpose because it's about the community, it's about the unity, it's about the teamwork, right? Okay, so, and if you know, if any author means a writer,
Yes.
whatever they write, they have a purpose, right? They write for a reason. Right? So even if you read the newspapers, you read the news in the newspaper, what they are trying to tell you, they are giving you what? What is their purpose? What is the writer's purpose? To give you what?
Information.
Information. So most common
And
authors
information.
are three purposes, very common purposes. Author, when they write something, the author's purpose can be to give you the information, and that is mostly when it's a true information. That is like, for example, all kind of news, history. All history books are informational books, right? All science books are informational books. All math books, for example, or your technology, anything that is based on facts. Facts means you can prove it. That's true, right? So those kind of information is like author's purpose is to give you the information. Now think about the stories. For example, this one, this is a story. It's a fiction story. That means it's not true. Someone just wrote it. And this is, some stories have a lesson, right? Even in India, if you remember many folk tales, every story sometimes teaches you some kind of lesson, right? So they, authors sometimes convey the message, but in an entertainment way. So when you read the stories, it's mostly for your entertainment. If you go and watch the movies, movies are also for entertainment, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So,
Yes, ma'am.
and then there is a third kind of writing, for example, is to persuasive writing. So persuasive is when author wants you to do something. And especially if you look at the advertisements, right? All the advertisements, what they're trying to do, they want to sell you something. Yes or no?
Yes.
They want you to
Yes,
buy something. Or
Yes, ma'am.
even there are some kind of, like, for example, now everyone say go green or save the planet, and they are advising people or do this or do the recycling, use less plastic. That is also persuasive writing, right? The people are trying to convince other people that we need to save our planet, for example. And I mean, अब जैसे इंडिया में एक अभियान चला था, which one was that? Clean water, गंगा को clean करो, something like that. I forgot now. I mean, or cleaning के ऊपर, right? So it's just
Yes.
the persuading, encouraging other people to do the same thing. So that kind of writing, that's what you need to understand how.
Swachh Bharat Abhiyan.
Yeah, so whatever we read, everything has a purpose, right? So even what we are doing right now has a purpose. So it's kind of like getting you entertained with the story, but at the same time, you are learning a lot of vocabulary through this. if you focus, I don't know how much attention you are paying on these words and the language and the sentence structures, because if you read this, the most of the story happened when? In the past, right? So if you look at the sentences also, so information is in the past tenses. So instead of just focusing a lot on grammar, you need to focus when you read something, you need to focus on the format. That helps you learn a lot of your grammar skills automatically. And when you read, it improves your English skills automatically. And when you are talking about it, that's the reason whenever I read a slide or you read it, then I read it, then we talk about it. So you can pick up the language from there and use that language. That's what the learning is. That's what even the speaking is. That's what the writing is. That's why I always say, please keep a notebook with you. Please try to write something so you can pick up the language from there and then use that language, right? Because see here, I'm going to stop and talk about your language skills, because in India, especially because I'm more familiar with the Indian students also because I grew up there, right? So what happens is you learn a very basic English very quickly, okay? You all know your ABCs, you all know the basic words, you all are able to even form the simple sentences also. But after that, you feel like, oh, you don't know more English. But when you read it, you understand a lot. Then you get confused. How it happens, because when I'm reading, I understand. But when I'm trying to speak, I can't speak. The words just disappear from my brain, right? होता है ना आपके साथ कि नहीं होता?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
होता है.
Yes,
वो
yes,
क्यों
ma'am.
होता है? Because you are not using that language. Your English, your vocabulary is very passive. Your vocabulary, you have a vocabulary, but because you're not using it, so that's the reason when you want to speak, the words just disappear. वो बिल्कुल दिमाग से खत्म हो जाते हैं words. Does it happen to many of you or not? Is it
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Yes, right? So that's the reason you need, whenever you read in small chunks, छोटे छोटे टुकड़ों में read करके उसके ऊपर think about it, विचार करो जिसको कहते हैं कि ये
And
मैंने क्या पढ़ा.
explain many times.
Right, and ask questions like what happened, what's going on in this, who is the character, what the character is trying to do, what this character is thinking. You have to be in that character's head. You have to put yourself in that situation and then think, make the connection with that character. Then you will understand it more, right? So think about if there is like an old person, 70-year-old lady already had her ankle twisted and she's not able to walk. She's just sitting next to the window and watching everything, what's going on. Think about that kind of a person. Put yourself in that situation, like how she feels. She's lonely, first of all. She's alone. No one is around her, right? So this community is kind of like a broken community. People, if they have money, they are moving out. If they don't have, some of them, and and this woman is kind of like a witness of the history. That's what she was saying. And this guy is scared from telephone, right? So जैसे कह लो कि phobia हो जाता है किसी को, right? Kind of like that. So that's the way we practice language. It's like a one way. I'm not saying this is the only way. That is kind of like a one strategy you can use when you practice your speaking also. Okay, so I will say I'm gonna end the session over there from the streaming.
Ma'am.
And yes.
Ma'am, I want to say on child labor. Please
Yes.
give me some information on